Welcome to the StockMentor.com studios. I'm your stock mentor, Brian Johnson. And we had a nothing all day long till the very end of the day, and a little run up, and where did it go? Somewhere around that 10,200 mark. Look at that. And right where we would have expected it to go, right into overhead resistance. This was my ultimate overhead target. Happened right at the end of a Friday, so I'm not sure it can get much more perfect than that. That was great. Took a little break above 9,900-ish here earlier in the week, and some of you may have got out at the 200 mark, which was great, no problem. Once it broke there, you either stayed in or got back in and played it right up into here. This is perfect. This was actually very nice trading this week, the last couple days anyway. Just textbook. Now, we had to wait down in here, but what did I say? Patience pays off in the markets. Got to be careful. Sometimes you got to sit around and wait for a while. Those of you that sat around and waited with me, you did well. Really proud of you guys. Should have made some money off of this move. No question about it. So, ended the Friday on a high note. People can go home all happy for the weekend. We're back up above some of these levels, but coming now into some overhead levels as well. As you see, the next move here would be about 10,300. So guess what? We've got about another 100 points to play with here. If you held over the weekend, I don't know, I didn't. Well, I've got some put positions on that I've had for quite a while, which my subscribers know about. But I got into some positions yesterday that I got out of today. Didn't want to hold over the weekend. Wasn't a big deal to me. Wasn't a very big position either. But you can see the next overhead area would be right up into this here. So watching for bounces up into this area come early next week. But once again, give me the weekend to look it over, think it over, and see what I can come up with for our strategy next week. NASDAQ on a 60-minute also showing a little bit of a poke. Now notice it's not back to these upper levels that I talked about. It has been ever so slightly weaker, evident by some of the stronger stocks in the NASDAQ as well. But this is overall my projected target up here. Whew, sorry about that. My projected target right up here, right around in this 1830 to 1840-ish area. That coincides with what I'm seeing here too on the daily as well. The 20-day and the 200-day are both up in this 1830 to 1840, so we'll watch those closely as we come in. Overall, though, for a weekly or a week-ending video here, you can see the NASDAQ doing very well. Coming down, hitting the blue line, holding, and up the rest of the week. Not in the most prettiest of fashions, but up nonetheless. So money to be made on the NASDAQ to the upside. Getting itself back up and over, actually, the 50-week moving average. That was one of the areas I wanted to be watching coming into the end of the week. And notice how we closed back above it. So maybe we see a little bit of consolidation between these two heavier green lines I have here. Only time will tell, but interesting to see that we did see a bounce off the 200-week. Makes sense. Makes very logical sense. And now running back up and getting above the 50-week. That's a little bit more bullish than I probably would have expected the first week after we saw this drop right here. But it is what it is. So let me diagnose that over the weekend, see what we can come up with for next week. SPX on a 60-minute, just able to poke its head above the 200 at the very, very end of the day. But we had some good trades. We got in right back here about the 1050-ish area. Played that up into this box here. Now look what we saw today. A lot of slow drift upwards. If you got out yesterday, you didn't miss much today. Maybe 8-9 points overall on the move. Still a good trading week for the S&P here. As it held this blue line as the other ones did, we saw the move to the upside, break above this heavier level. Some of you got in down towards the 1035 to 1040-ish level. It was a little touch and go for about a day, and then it was more go than touch as it ran straight up, coming back into the 20-day moving average and actually finishing just at or above it for the end of the week. So, good moves towards the end of the week here for the bulls, giving us profits on our opportunities. Not quite back to the 50-week moving average, though, so we still have some work to do here from a weekly. Volume was down, once again, short week, so let me look at this over the weekend and see what we can figure out for next week's play. VIX, though, also down for the day, so this is starting to kind of bleed out for the time being. Options players and stuff, not real happy to see that this week because that kind of held back some profits and or added to their losses in a more quick way as the VIX started to bleed out. However, confirming the move to the upside as the fear comes out of the markets. For the week, though, right back into all of this lower support junk that we have sitting down here. So we'll see if that continues downwards next week. Looks like maybe we could be in for another move down. We could turn around here. This is really anybody's call at this point, but a further move down would just mean more upside for the markets into early next week. Apple also not strong. I mean, yeah, up for the day, but look, guys, just not strong. I mean, we had the big gap up a couple days back, ran straight down, and never made it even back to that point. Stopped today right at the 200 period moving average here. So Apple wasn't that strong. Baidu wasn't that strong. That's why the NASDAQ seems to be just lagging ever so slightly behind everything else. Still looks to me like there's still a potential for another push up into this area. Would not surprise me at all. I mean, we've got maybe any count would work here, but maybe a 1, 2, 3. This is a pullback for a 4. Now we're consolidating for a 5. Back up into this area. So we'll be watching that closely coming into early next week. From a daily standpoint, you can see it moving up. One good day of push for Apple, and then kind of some consolidation is ultimately what this turned out to be in between the 50 and the 20. We'll watch that as well coming into next week. More important to notice, we are below the blue line, so any pushes upwards in Apple have been really weak so far with this push to the upside in Apple. Maybe makes this blue line really way too early to tell. So we'll see what this looks like. This is a potential, maybe I'm not so sure. It's just not a consolidation candle that we're seeing here on the weekly. Only time will tell, and we'll see what we get coming into early next week. But Apple right now just not keeping up pace with some of the other indices and some of the other stocks in the last week or so. FAS on a 60-minute did have a nice push up. Here was that big move coming right back down into support, pushing right back up. We had opportunities to play it upwards a little bit today, but man, not a whole lot. Just a little bit of trading today. You would have had to jump in early this morning and kind of, maybe some more speculative plays. Once we got back up and above this 21-ish area here, 2180-ish area here, it was good for about 20 cents, but it didn't move hard into the end of the day. However, up for the week. Look at those 4 candles. Not the prettiest 4 candles in the world, with the exception of maybe these 2 right here, Wednesday and Friday. The rest of them not so good, but up was the direction by the end of the week for FAS, which means FAZ continued its fall down. Look how it hit and hit and hit, and we talked about this on the daily. Just wasn't able to get the steam up now all the way back into this area. Falling below these areas were my points to get short, so there was opportunity here to maybe pull, 40, 50 cents, 30 cents out of FAZ today. Not a lot. And more importantly, breaking below the blue line. That was a great entry as well if you took that. But now we've got, now for FAZ, really, we have to really start watching more bearishness coming into this for the time being. Maybe we get a retest of this early next week. It's anybody's guess. Let me diagnose it over the weekend. I'll be able to give you maybe a better idea of what I think could be happening here. Overall, though, it's still choppy. Our one good chance for a more major swing trade was above this 200, but it tried and tried and tried. It and then just gave up the ghost. It just could not make it. Looked good for a while. I thought there's still a good possibility that it's going to hold. But once it broke back below 17, it was all over. And you can see what's happened since then. About a $2.50 move since then. Okay. That's what we saw for the week. Up for the week. Bullishness for the week. Overall, I don't know. Still longer term bearish. This, I think, is, for the time being, for me, just a bounce. Just a bounce in the market, just a pullback in the market. I'm still looking to the bear side, ultimately, overall, for our next more major move. But the bulls looking pretty good. Wave pattern looks good in through here. A 1, 2, 3, if you want to look at it that way. I don't think the 3 is quite done yet until we see a move back into this area. But looks pretty good from a wave count. For the bulls. So I will be back with you again on Sunday. Sunday. and give you guys some more insight on what I think we might be watching coming into the week. Please, once again, guys, please, they're free videos. You don't have to register for them. Tell your friends. Post it on Yahoo. Post it on Google Finance. Get the word out. Let's help other people. They're free videos. Hopefully, maybe these will help you. These will help them as much as maybe they're helping you. All right. See you on Sunday. Bye.